I would share this video with you. It's a kind of an interesting one. It's pretty much the legacy of my old car I have, or had. Some of you guys may be interested in this, some of you guys might not be. My car's been out of my life probably for a good 3 years now, probably close to 2.5, 3 years. Just thought I would kind of share this with you. It's a little bit of a reminisce thing, and then I'm going to explain a few things while things are going. Remember these guys? They're going for a ride. So what we're going to do, we're going to dispose of these things the proper way. Yes, I know I'm not wearing a seatbelt. We're in a parking lot. You think I'm crazy? Maybe just a little. See? See this? Yeah, it's going away. Big time it's it going away. Ford, you should be thanking me for this video. There you are, there's the carnage, there's the destruction. Don't you like it? Now beware, never pay $10 for trash. Got a whole bag of stuff here. rejected ass helicopter, wannabe Dinobot. Hey, look, guys. Powerglide looked like that, we'd all be in trouble. Not to mention BB. Really, dude? Really? This and this is supposed to combine together? What? And look. Isn't that the saddest Dinobot you've ever seen? I mean, honestly, if the Insecticons had anything that looked like this, we'd all be. Just remember, this is Plasticon. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. Good morning, Transformer fans. How you guys doing? I am back and I'm about to do some stuff. I have already pre-sanded my car. Gonna try to hit it a little bit more. It's slightly damp out this morning, so gonna try to use nature's water along with a gallon of water because I live in an apartment complex, which you can clearly tell behind me. Mainly, it's kind of a pain in the butt to try to do some of this stuff when you live in an apartment complex, but obviously you get jugs of water as well. But I'm going to be doing a little bit of wet sanding. I'm going to dry off the car, and then I'm going to actually get it prepped for the actual paint. I've done a lot of research when it comes to this, so it's not something you just do overnight. It seems that when I tried to do the vinyl, because a lot of you guys heard me talking about the vinyl, that didn't work out very well. But, yeah, Jackie here. Obviously, you can see him back here running. I'm going to be sanding him down and getting that all done. So, when I get that done and get everything wiped down, yeah, I'm going to start painting. And come back and give you guys a little bit of an update in a little while. Later. Hey guys, I'm back. Everything's good to go. Everything's taped off. You guys can tell. I did apply a little bit of paint to the wheels. And sadly, you can tell I kind of ran out of tape there at the bottom, so I'm just basically have to pull it off at the bottom. But it's going pretty good so far. Hopefully able to put down the first coat here shortly. Gonna finish up the wheels first though. See you guys in a bit. Sorry about I'm shaking. Just tired. Hey guys, Plasticon here. Guess what? Base coat's down. Check it out. Looks pretty good. I did kind of mess up and got a little bit on the trimming here. No big deal though, I'll get that off. Did do the wheels again. Looking pretty good so far. Not bad for my first roller job, considering I've painted houses before. But not too bad. It's just all about taping things off and getting things situated. It's looking really good though so far.
Can't wait till I get done with it though. It's going to be pretty awesome. But this is just the base coat. This isn't even the finished coat, and it's already looking sharp. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this and checking out my ultimate custom. Well, guys, this is day 2. Car's gotten yet another coat. I just got them putting another one on there. It's almost completely dry. Should be ready for tape pull, and then maybe this afternoon decals if I can get to it. But yeah, it's looking really sharp. I'm gonna have to button up and fix a few things, a little overspray here and there. That happens no matter if you roll or if you spray or anything like that. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And the tape is removed. Done some scraping. And there she is. I should say he, considering this is Jackie. As far as I'm concerned, I think it turned out pretty good. Not too bad. I think it's ready for some decals myself, considering all that stuff's sitting in the floorboard right now. But yeah, overall, not too shabby. Anyhow, I'll see you guys in a while. Day 3, guys. Just now putting stripes on it. I started doing it yesterday afternoon. Phone was dead, that's why I didn't get any more stuff on it, but it's looking pretty good so far. It's coming together. Even this bad spot here turned out pretty good with the green on the bottom, so I'm getting there. Just starting. So we'll be back with more. Hey guys, what's up? Guess what? And there's my custom. How's yours looking?
So, um, first off, when I first got the car, I don't think I spent I think I probably paid about $800 for it. When I first got it, it ran pretty rough. It wasn't in the best condition. It had quite a bit of issues with the interior. It had a lot of, and just had bad gas in it. So I pretty much ran the bad gas out, went over, and through fuel treatment through it, put new fuel into it. At the time, I also swapped out spark plugs on it, changed out the belts, and I got rid of the entire air conditioning system because the way the AC system is on these old BMWs is it's got an external fan for vent and an internal fan that runs the AC. Well, the internal blower motor made a high-pitched squealing sound. Couldn't do anything to fix it. Like, it was not fixable. I tried putting contact cleaner, everything I could think of it to fix this, and it was just impossible to fix. So I just pretty much gutted the entire AC system out of it. Did that at the same time that I pulled the entire interior out. There was a time I decided to yank the entire interior because the interior smelled bad. It had some really, really bad spots in the carpet. The carpet was already kind of messed up as it was. So I decided to go to, it's kind of funny, I went to Joann's Fabrics and actually bought some insulation foam, which is pretty much just kind of like a thick type of foam. It was not the squishy kind of foam. It's kind of like it's foam that's like glued together with all different kinds or whatever it was. And then I threw that down on top of some carpet that I bought from that place. I also went in, and because I bought indoor-outdoor carpet is what I bought, because that's obviously what you really only use on a car anyhow, because it's just one of those things that it's easier to clean and it doesn't get as dirty. It doesn't hold the gunk. So, but also as for the door panels needed to be redone. The old cloth on it, a lot of it was fading, a lot of it was just in really, really bad condition. Just, I couldn't really clean it that well. So I decided to go out and buy a kind of like a pleather type of material, and it worked very, very well. I used it on the door panels. I also used it, I'm trying to remember where else I might have used it. I did attempt to try to use it for the center console area, but it didn't work out that well, so I just ended up using vinyl wrap on that. But yeah, the interior I had to completely redo. It didn't have the original seats in it. The driver's side seat was pretty sunk in, so I actually, when I was at Joann's Fabrics, I bought this huge, really, really thick piece of foam. And I pretty much I pulled off the old stuff that was there, like the old covering and such. And then I ended up putting a piece of foam down, and then I covered it with a new cloth. I didn't care what color the cloth was because I knew I was going to be putting seat covers over everything anyway, because I special ordered some seat covers for the car. During the time I did that, like I said, I had the whole interior out at the time, so I did like a thorough cleaning, checked all the wiring, all this, that, and the other, made sure everything was good on the inside before I put the new carpet back in and cut it to make it fit and everything, and cut it and shape it, which was pretty fun actually. And after I got done doing all that, I turned around and put in the seat covers, had all that done, and then it was time to install a better stereo. The stereo it had in it was like I want to say it was like an old, realistic stereo from like the mid-90s. It didn't work. I couldn't get it to work no matter what I could do. I would have rather had it in there, but I did yank it. I just went out and bought me a cheap dual head unit and bought some dual speakers because all the speakers in it were shot. So I decided to go ahead and get new speakers for the car as well, because it needed a sound system. I can't drive without having audio, you know. And when it came to that, pretty simple. I've done a lot of car audio installs in my life, so this is not a hard thing for me to do. But then later on, I decided that I would go through and do a little bit more stuff to the engine, so I decided to throw a cold air intake on it, and the horn never worked. When I got the car, the horn didn't work. And I knew how much of a nightmare it was to try to chase down the wires. So I decided to get an aftermarket horn, and I found out who could put it in. And I thought it was funny, and it worked really well. I just wired it to the battery and ran the cords through the firewall and put it in a new horn button. So I thought that was kind of cool, you know, because everybody's like, "What's this button doing?" And they press it and it's the horn, so it was kind of funny. Another thing I decided to do is I put in because you know how everybody's got like cigarette lighter adapter type of things, because I wanted to put a GPS in there. I wanted the car to have some kind of interior neon glow on the inside. I also wanted to be able to turn the actual cigarette lighter on and off when it was being used, that way I didn't have just power drawn to that. And I did have a CB in it at one time, but that didn't last very long. It just didn't work. But I did have all those plugged in and wired through it was kind of like a little breakout box that you plug your cigarette lighter adapters into. Well, I hid that into the under the dash next to the glove compartment, and then ran the switch box, which is actually the switch box, went to the toggle switches, so I could turn things on and off that way. So that everything wasn't running straight to it all the time, so it wouldn't burn up the batteries. But yeah, I did that. Exterior-wise, this is where a lot of the work went into the car, because mechanically the car was fine. I did put new rotors, new brakes on it. I put ceramics on it, pitted and slotted rotors. It's a BMW. It needed a little bit of the performance type of, you know, braking system, so I did have that completely changed out on it. Stopped on a dime, because this is before airbags. There's no airbags in the car. There was never airbags in that car. It doesn't exist. 1988 didn't put airbags in cars. Same thing with the ABS. There was no ABS on this car. It was, you know, very, very kind of basic BMW, which I liked. You know, everything was bad. It was crazy that everything else was electric on it though, because it did have electric windows. It had electric moonroof. The seats were electric, so you can move them back and forth and up and down and such. It was kind of crazy. It had really high-end stuff on there. The other thing on the interior, though, I did get rid of were the armrests. It did have armrests. It's supposed to be in the center. One of them was completely broke off. The other one half worked, and I was like, I'll just get rid of these anyway, because putting seat covers over anyhow, and you would never see them anyway. So I just pitched them, got rid of them. But as for the exterior required a lot of work. I did a lot of rust removal, knocked the stuff off. I used a Dremel, because at the time that's about all I had. And Dremel does really, really well if you know how to use one correctly. But I did go through and cut all the old rust areas out. After I got done doing that, I obviously primed them, sand them, primed them, all that stuff, and then got them ready for kind of a body filler. I did use some fiberglass here and there to kind of try to reshape parts of the door, because the door itself literally was like the driver's side door corner was gone. It was completely rusted, gone completely on the car. So I had to rebuild that from scratch. Did the best I could do with my own, two hands trying to mold that piece. And the roof, the moonroof itself, didn't leak, but it did have a few bad spots on the moonroof itself. So I went through and I filled those with some body filler, and then turned around and, primed it, sanded it, primed it, and painted the entire car. Took care of most of the issues there. And then later on, I was like, you know what, I'm going to put a wing on the back. I wanted to put a wing, but I didn't want something huge on Jackie. I didn't want some ginormous wing sticking up, but I also didn't want something that was low. Like, I wanted something that was kind of, you know, eye-catching, that would look right on the car. So I did go to eBay and I bought a wing. I think that kit probably ran me around 45 bucks or something like that. It wasn't even that expensive for that wing. It was pretty cheap. I love the fact it was kind of a two-tier wing. It wasn't just like one solid wing, which I liked. You know, having a little bit of a difference to it. It just kind of made it interesting. It's kind of funny because it looked like a Rector set, but hey, that's me. I'm cheesy and corny like that anyway, so it's something I really have always been into. So, yeah, I was really wanted to put a wing on the back. Never had done it before, so I lined it up, got it all nice and measured, and then I marked it and popped the holes in the trunk, and then the liner for the trunk pops right off on BMWs. It's really easy. So I popped the liner off and then bolted it down, and after I got them bolted down, obviously I sealed it and everything. I used some silicone and stuff like that to kind of seal them, keep them from rusting, because you know you got to make sure you don't get any rust and leaks in the back. The trunk itself always had issues leaking. When I first got the vehicle, it had a lot of issues with the trunk, but I did manage to try to fix quite a bit of those bits with some fiberglass, a little bit of aluminum tape, some Bondo, things like that to kind of fix the channel where the seal went. And then I put a new kind of foam seal throughout it, and it worked pretty good for a while. It wasn't the best fix, but hey, it did the job. But yeah, like after having the car for several years, driving as much as I have, because this thing had been in my life for over a decade. Like all the decals on it too, on the exterior. Let me jump back to that real quick. Decals I applied. I did all that myself. I painted it myself. I painted the wheels black as well. Mainly because the original wheels were kind of just that weird kind of whitish silver fading going on. Just something you couldn't really restore back to original. So I just got me some nice good automotive paint, and I covered up with brake calipers, all this stuff, and then shot the crap out of them and made them all nice and pretty. And hey, they lasted the whole time. I did throw some little Autobot emblems on the wheel hubs because I thought it was kind of cool to throw some Autobot emblems on it. Same thing with the decals and such. I threw all those on there just to, you know, make it look like Wheeljack. And when I first did do the decals on it, I did have the 359 pretty big on it, but Texas heat sucks. Texas baked the crap out of my decals. So I turned right back around and pulled those off and I had to order some smaller ones, but hey, it still had the same kind of look. But the bad thing is you can kind of see the old decals because it kind of faded into the green and the red a little bit. You know, it kind of gave the car character. So it's one of those things. I really think, you know, if you're into Transformers like I am, Wheeljack would do this kind of stuff. You know, he would just like, just throw a little bit of something on it and keep it going. You know, because it's just, he was never a perfectionist when it came to his experimental engineering. Can't say the word. Being, you know, experimental, building things from nothing, basically. But yeah, I pretty much kept the maintenance up on the car. Like I said, I changed out spark plugs on it a couple times. I kept the engine oil always topped off or changed. And speaking of engine oil, there was one incident I had. I was coming back from TFCon in it was Chicago TFCon, and I was pulling into a gas station because I needed gas. Well, going into the gas station, there's this large dip. And in the middle of this dip, there's this stupid manhole was sticking up. I didn't see it until it was too late. And the bottom of my oil pan caught it and knocked a hole about this big into it. Now, if you guys don't know how the original oil pans are on BMWs, they are cast steel. There's no patching that. It literally shattered. Um, Luckily, I was able to park the car, shut it off. That way, it didn't kill the engine. Sadly, I had to have it towed back, and had to change out the oil pan in the freezing cold. Sucked because at the time I was living in Indiana, and yeah, it just wasn't good. Just wasn't good at the time. Things kind of just went from there, I should say, when it comes to trying to keep the upkeep, because that was the time that the muffler itself decided to pop off, and it turned out my adapter where the muffler actually attaches rusted completely through. So I had to buy a whole new Cadillac converter to put on the car. Well, I did that, and I decided to just run straight pipes. It sounded better anyway. Yeah, I just ran the straight pipe directly off the Cadillac converter, and it just great. It sounded amazing. Loved it. Had a nice roar. If anything, I felt like the horsepower actually went up on it again even after I got done getting rid of the AC unit. But yeah, the car itself lasted me a very, very, very long time. And then when I was living down in Texas, my brother helped me out with a U-joint issue I had with the driveline. If you don't know how it works with the driveline on these cars, the driveline literally has to be completely replaced, because you can't actually, not supposed to change the U-joints, but we kind of jerry-rigged it. We popped the old one out, and probably shouldn't have done it, but we welded the new one in. It lasted me probably 2.5 years, and then all of a sudden I got in my car one day to go driving, and I heard this kind of slapping against the floorboard, and turned out, looked underneath, and the U-joint and carrier bearing had all completely worn out at that point. This carrier bearing goes into the center of the driveline, because the driveline is in two pieces on BMWs. You have like the front, and you have the rear. And usually people just buy the whole thing at once and just replace the whole thing. It just makes it easier actually for maintenance. You just disconnect the carrier bearing, and you're able to drop it down, and then you just unscrew the two ends, and they'll just fall right out after you get done removing the heat shield. But this is definitely one of those things that was not affordable for me to fix. So the day came where I had to sell it. And it was mainly because her parents didn't want someone to fine them for having a dead car sitting in their yard. And we had it covered and everything, but the city frowns on cars just sitting for too long. So, I mean, it sat there at their house probably for at least a good couple of years. And then I had to sell her. I hate to see Jackie go, but I had to. That's why I no longer have Wheeljack. Currently right now I'm working on a different project. You guys will end up probably seeing a little bit of a video here pretty soon about, let you guys know what's all going on with that. But that's the story of Wheeljack. I bought him from it's pretty much like an internet find. There was no marketplace or anything like that back then. I Google searched back then, and that's when I found, Wheeljack on the internet, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go check this car out, and I was very impressed with the car when I first got it. It's a lifetime, yes. Got me from point A to point B. I drove that thing clear from Florida all the way up to Indiana, from Indiana clear to Tennessee, from Tennessee to Texas. And then it was trailered from Texas up to here because we had too much stuff to carry, so I had to pull behind on a U-Haul. But once we got up here to Missouri, drove it around a lot. Like I said, good couple of years up here before that Driveline decided to give out on it. But unfortunately, if I would have had the money at the time to fix the driveline, I would have, but at the time, I didn't have it. And now I'm getting older, it's harder for me to crawl underneath vehicles, so I'm glad he had a good run, and the new owner, I hope he's taking really good care of it. But, you know, just want to let you guys know what went on with my car. A lot of people probably have been wondering why I never really post stuff about it anymore and such. And, you know, it's been a long time. It really has been. Had a lot of good memories in that car. I love that thing. Too many cool things go to the wayside sometimes too soon. But, you know, having the thing for well over a decade was quite some time to have something in your life. You know, it's like having an animal and an animal going. You know, it's kind of how it felt. Yeah. But, you know, it's kind of a little sentimental thing, but I figure I'd just share this with you guys and hope you guys enjoy this video. And I'll see you guys around. This is Plasticon. This is me signing off. Peace out, y'all. I'll see you. That's it for now. Bye!